as the market for augmented reality has really taken hold and taken off in a very big way for us. It became very difficult for us in the past before the 3D AI acquisition. Now, after we acquired 3D AI, which was in late June, I think. So July, August, September rolls around, and by the middle of September, in market with the technology, and we've been able to land lots of accounts, which we'll get into in a minute, and really open up the market. And really, we're focused on that business, even though we have our e-com business, you know, which we started in 2019. That's ongoing. The virtual events business, it's also ongoing, but you know, not at the same pace as 2020 during the pandemic. But the augmented reality business is really the engine of growth, and that's really driving our hires and really driving our go-to-market plan, and really the future of the business is augmented reality. Just share my screen with you real quick. All right, so show slides. So e-commerce SaaS solution. I love that chair. For some reason, it reminds me of the Matrix. Don't ask me why. But the idea here is that e-commerce is, you know, something that's a market we've been in for a while, and you could see 2019, $3.36 trillion, 4.28 trillion, growing. So by 2024, it'll be a $6.39 trillion global marketplace, and e-commerce has really become part of the fabric of society today. It's how people shop. But there's a big problem in the world of e-commerce. When I say big, a $1.47 trillion annual problem, which is the cost of returns. I don't know about you, but I get, you know, lots of packages delivered to my house. The other day, my wife was shopping for some bar stools. She wanted this off-white color of bar stools. They sent 4 of them, and they were yellow. It is off-white, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not lit. So my wife is like, I don't like this, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking like, you know, I could probably live with this. And she's like, you know, I'm returning it, and I'm like, this is going to be a real pain, you know, like returning these heavy, you know, boxes. And so she calls up the company, and guess what they say? Yeah, just keep it. We'll give you a full refund. You could buy something else, just keep it. That is the crux of the problem here, is that it costs more money to return something than it's worth. So believe it or not, there's a 30% average rate of return. In the US alone, it's $170 billion a year problem. And it hits, you know, the e-com retailers' bottom line. So the problem exists. And then, you know, the solution, of course, is see it in your space, try before you buy, augmented reality. The challenge is 3D model creation. 3D model creation historically is very time consuming, requires some technical talent, inconsistent quality, and a model costs like $100 to $200 per model, not scalable. And if you think about how many models that are in demand, it's over 400 million 3D models. And if you look at the screen, you'll see that there's about 16 million global e-commerce sites worldwide. If you look at Shopify, you have 3.7 million Shopify sites. WooCommerce has 3.6. Then you have Magento and BigCommerce. Those are our customers, meaning Nextech's customers. Those websites. The solution is we're bringing to market our AI-powered 3D model creation platform, and it's a SaaS platform. We create the 3D models. It's cross-platform, meaning it works on every browser. It's web AR. You don't need an app. So it's super easy, frictionless. We host the 3D asset in the cloud. You have, content management system. We give you analytics. We publish it. It's an augmented reality experience on your site. And then you just sit back and kind of reap the benefit. The conversion rates go up 94%. Your returns, most importantly, go down 40%. Now, those are not Nextech's numbers. I am not projecting 40%. Shopify is saying that this is factual, that they're seeing a 40% reduction in returns, which means that there's a $588 billion cost savings. Remember that 1.47 trillion minus 588 billion with 3D models. That's the total addressable market. That's what ends up happening. That's the value with Nextech's augmented reality solution. So in Q4 of this year, we are going to be integrated. That's 6 weeks, right? There's only 6 weeks left, I think, in the quarter. We will be integrated with Shopify, and Shopify is the 800-pound gorilla. There's no doubting that. Shopify has come out and said the future of e-commerce is 3D. We agree with them, and we are the 3D factory. That's the key here, is that we're the 3D factory that's going to supply Shopify merchants, big commerce merchants, WooCommerce, Magento. We're going to supply the whole ecosystem with 3D models. Actually, we don't have to convince them. Shopify is telling them. In other words, Shopify is telling them, get your 3D models. The future of e-commerce is 3D. Shopify is actually telling them to sign up. It's like, okay, right? I'm being told, right? Shopify is saying Google is going to rank you higher in search if you have a 3D model. Shopify is saying this. Okay. So demand for 3D models is rising exponentially for Nextech. If you look at this graph here, you could see the number of 3D models that we created before 3D AI and the number of 3D models that we're creating and about to create after we acquired 3D AI. So we acquired 3D AI, which is this, groundbreaking technology, AI driven. And so that was done in Q3, as we mentioned earlier. Now, all of a sudden, the customers are there, the demand is there, we're at an inflection point. And it's just critical for our investors to understand that this is new. This did not exist in Q1, Q2, even Q3, a little bit, like 2 weeks of Q3. This is Q4. This is all happening. And we're talking to everybody that's on this screen. Some of these brands are our customers, and some of these brands are customers to be. And they're pretty big. So we are disrupting the market. I can't really stress that enough. We're able to disrupt on price and scale. So we could produce the highest volume at the lowest price. So, this is a graph which kind of shows you the affordability index, the scalability index. So if you look at the, in the quadrants, you have four. This is called the magic quadrant. You have four quads. You have low scalability, which is the crowdsourcing model. And by the way, TurboSquid was acquired by Getty Images for $75 million. Sketchfab, and that's in 2021. Sketchfab was just acquired by Epic Games for a couple of $100 million. All those guys had were 3D model marketplaces. They actually didn't create the models. They just had, others kind of make them, and then they just, were selling them and reselling them. So if you look at this, you could see that our technology stands alone as the most affordable and most scalable. And what does this mean in terms of numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the total addressable market for Nextech's SaaS 3D solutions, um, tier one, we charge essentially $150 per month for 25 models. If you look at all those e-com sites that we were speaking to earlier, the Shopify's, the WooCommerce, right? If you add them all up and you multiply that $150 per month, you come up with a monthly recurring revenue stream of 5.1 billion, an annual revenue stream of $61 billion. Tier two, which is, if you want 50 models, it goes up to 6.6 billion in monthly recurring revenue. Tier three, 8.5 billion, and the total addressable market is about $102 billion annually. That is a big number. That's not what we're going to do in revenue in 2022, but that's the market that we have to grow into, right? That's, if you add up all of our customers and you look at our business, that's what we're going for. That's the market. And if we go back one slide to this magic quadrant, we're in here and there's nobody there with us. So we have a field of green grass that we're running through, and there's nobody there right now with us. That doesn't mean that tomorrow competitors won't show up, but as of today, we really are the leader, and we do have this disruptive business model, and there is $100 billion that we're chasing. And you could try it for yourself. I mean, this is just an opportunity to take out your smartphone, point it on the screen at any one of these QR codes, and you'll be able to see the magic of augmented reality in your room, in your space, and why it's so valuable, why these 3D models are so exciting. And I'm going to leave it. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah.
I think, it's pretty obvious what we're building here,
Mm-hmm.
and the position that we have in the market's super exciting for us as a company.